Orlamar here with a quick video on what I used to counter these Padme squads in Territory Wars. So it's not the strongest Padme squad, 106k GP, no Relic Anakin, but I'll just take my weak Empire team in here against it with the Emperor Palpatine. I've got Traya, Scion, probably don't even need Scion necessarily, but Thrawn and Vader. They're very important to this counter as well, and Traya is as well. So first we're going to go with Vader, and we're going to spread debuffs, and we're going to try to hit the person with the most debuffs. Unfortunately, we have to go after Kenobi, so we're only going to get a 10% turn meter boost. And here's where I would typically pass turn meter to Palpatine and stun everybody, but I decided to fracture Kenobi because I knew my Traya would go first before Padme could get a turn, so that I could fracture Traya, or fracture Padme, sorry. Not fracture, isolate Padme, which is the goal of this counter. So I didn't use my stun ability there because they all have protection up except for Kenobi, so there was no real point because they would resist all of those. Now we can dispel all that protection with Scion and get some debuffs out on the field. We don't want now that isolate is on Padme, we don't have to worry about her cleansing all those debuffs and giving them more protection up. So now we can kind of start working on Anakin. We do want to make sure that we dispel big stacks of protection as well. We had to fracture Kenobi again to make sure that he doesn't taunt, because he will taunt immediately. And we have to go after Ahsoka because she had a lot of stacks of protection, and we don't want that to turn into courage because that's just going to completely kill our team here. So we want to make sure we get a shock on Kenobi so he can't taunt again, and then we can start to kind of go after Anakin, keeping an eye on stacks of protection as well. Ayla's starting to get a few stacks of protection, and Kenobi had the shock wear off, so we had to go after him again. We can fracture Anakin now, and now we don't have much to worry about. Ayla was a little bit of a threat there with her protection and stacks of courage, but not enough to do damage. We can try to stun again. We did get a few stuns, so that's perfect, and then let's just take him out. So Anakin's gone. This team goes a whole lot easier now because now I don't have to worry about who goes under 50% health and makes Anakin mad and have him take a bonus turn. So do want to get through Kenobi here as quickly as possible because he's just going to taunt, but Ahsoka was pretty tempting there as well. And another fracture up, and really this counter goes a lot easier once Anakin's gone and you've got Padme isolated because she just can't do anything to help her team at all. No healing, no buffs, no nothing. So one by one we'll work on them. And it's pretty straightforward from here. We can put that isolate back up to reduce some cooldowns. We can recover some protection if we were in Grand Arena with Thrawn. And we can fracture. Let's get rid of Ayla. And this is no different when there's Grandmaster Yoda. It might be a little bit more difficult. And yeah, obviously it's more difficult with tougher Padme squads, but with tougher Padme squads, you'd expect to bring in a tougher Empire squad as well. So let's take a look at my team and go into the modding of them a little bit. I've got Palpatine here. He is key here. I have him modded for a lot of potency and just a little bit of speed. The key is his leadership ability. When a debuff expires on an enemy, Empire and Sith allies gain 5% turn meter. So he's at 201 speed, nothing special. Thrawn, I've got modded for speed as much as I can reasonably do. He's at plus 110 speed, so at 260. The biggest key is Vader. So he's going to get bonus speed at the beginning of his encounter equal to 8 speed per for a bunch of different reasons we'll go into in a second. So I've got him modded for plus 100 speed, so he's at 221 speed. But you look at his bonus, he has 4 Sith allies and 3 Empire allies and 4 Jedi enemies. So in the bonuses do count twice for both Palpatine and Vader. So that's going to be 11 bonuses for him So that's 11 times 8 equals plus 88 speed. So on top of his 221 speed, he'll be effectively 309 speed for this counter against this particular team. That can vary depending on what team you're facing. And so you gotta just make sure that you're doing the math each time you go into an encounter to make sure your Vader is going to go first and that he can spread those debuffs and feed turn meter to the team. So then we will continue on. Scion, nothing special. He's only gear 8, I believe. So he's pretty slow. I tried to make him tanky, but at gear 8 it's pretty tough. And my Traya is gear 8. That's why I can use them both on this team because I don't have a triumvirate team. They're just not good enough. Traya's not fast enough to do anything on her own either. So